down, but down, pow. All right.
Damn.
I'm the only one who does that in the background, right?
It's like
Hey,
the ABC
everyone.
special. Everybody remember those? ABC CBS specials.
Oh, yeah. Need to get like a newsreel thing on the bottom here. How y'all
How
doing
you guys
today?
doing?
Y'all tired like me?
Yeah,
A little bit.
Did y'all work today too? Yeah.
absolutely.
Right up to this. I worked right up to it.
Nice.
I was like posting something right before we end. I'm like, and work is done. Hi guys.
All right, so yeah, welcome all. This is the monthly recommendation roundtable. This month is all Oscar-themed movies, all movies that have been nominated for an Oscar, which ranges from Suicide Squad up to Schindler's List. Anywhere in there qualifies. And yeah, we managed to find a movie for each of us that we hadn't seen, and Mike won because he got the best batch. I'm sure we'll say that 300 more times tonight.
Yeah.
But just before I forget to remind everyone that Sunday, once again on my channel, is the actual Collectors Club Oscar-themed show. There it is right there. Collectors Club Go to the Oscars. Those are real Oscars. We have those. And yeah, that's starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, not 9. So it's an hour earlier, which we've been doing the last few months, but I figured I'd remind everybody, including myself. I'm going to pop into the comments quick before we get started. And the anniversary girl, it can't be here tonight, our number one fan, Tiana, but she's still amazing and left us a pre-stream super chat because she couldn't be here tonight. It's her ninth anniversary. Happy anniversary, Tiana. I don't know what the ninth anniversary is. Is that like the paper anniversary or something? It's one of those things. But as always, thank you, Tiana.
I hope you're having a great
Johnny
night.
watching us here. What is up, cool kids? How you doing, Johnny? Emmett is here. How you doing, bud?
Howdy.
Emmett.
What are you guys gonna give your? We were talking about this comment before the show, to be honest, and that'll come next month during the Valentine's Day or the romance movies Collectors Club show.
Yeah, February's got lots of romance in it.
Yeah, we'll plug that one later.
I'll give her a
Derek
box.
is here, Mr. Pure Hangout. How you doing, Derek? He just got back from vacation. He was in the Disney, I believe. So that looked fun.
Nice.
Welcome back, man.
All in the is here. It is officially a live stream now. And now it has been seconded by Tony because he's also here. Uncle Tony, thank you for showing up. Everyone saying hey to each other. Collector Movie Man is here. Hello to you as well. I also like the 8 p.m. time slot because that's only for me, and we're old.
I do too. I'm liking it.
So, without further ado, trying to fiddle with my stuff here. There we go. Yeah. Do you want to go one at a time, or just everyone go blow through all three of their movies at once? What do we prefer?
I like each person gives their 3 and work through. That's the way I like it. Yeah. I will say I kind of want to end on Mike.
I was going to say that too. I was just going to say that.
Move Mike into the bottom corner.
I'll move Mike over by me.
And
then I'll move myself where Huck is. There we go. Let's do that.
Funny.
That looks good.
They're in a great order. Where are you starting, Derek? That's so confusing.
I've already done all the talking. We can start with you.
Start with you, Huck.
Yeah, oh man!
Let's go right. First.
All right. So, all right. So, bestowed upon me, we will start with Mike's was the greatest show on earth.
Nice.
So this is Cecil B. DeMille. You know, I've seen like a few of his old, stuff, but I had not seen this one. It runs like 2.5 hours. So I didn't quite expect that, but I mean, it is Cecil B. DeMille, who is known for the longer stuff. It's got James Stewart, Charlton Heston, and Betty Hutton, who I'd not really known until this thing. And I even looked her up afterwards to see, did she do anything after this? Because the people in this film have really good circus skills. Do you know what I mean? Like back then, you think, how hard do people train for movies like this? Because today, I mean, you look at Hugh Jackman get into shape as Wolverine, and he is cut, he's fit, and Ryan Reynolds is, doing martial arts. So when people do a circus thing, it's like, how half-assed is it? or how legit are they? And they are doing some hair-raising trapeze work that is quite phenomenal. I'm like, okay, all I can think of is this girl is a trapeze artist, and they taught her to act. Like that's how good she was, right, at the skill. And same thing with the other guy that was the trapeze artist. And it's got a nice little backstory regarding James Stewart's clown buttons. Don't want to give that away because that is kind of the crux of it. And he does stay in makeup the whole time, and there's a reason why he stays in makeup the whole time. And there's good dynamic. I was actually engaged the whole time, and I had a good time watching this film. I was kind of surprised. I thought, oh, it's a circus movie. Although I will say this, the downside was, I think Cecil B. DeMille loves circuses, because some of the stuff is just like, okay, now let's just sit on the circus with these things coming out for 5 minutes. I'm like, dude, this is like watching the Macy's parade. Like,
yeah, right.
We as the audience don't want to see this. It is not exciting to look at people going around the ring waving at the crowd. I'm like, oh, this is when old filmmakers just like
for several minutes. Yeah,
the best way to show them is to just show them. I'm like, no, get back to the story. So it's big. Its only downfall was really just lollygagging on too much of that stuff, but the story was fun. So yeah, I would say, yeah, and Heston was really good. This was like Heston sort of in his lean, you hadn't quite gotten to the Planet of the Apes yet, because that was like 69. So, he's still that young Hess. So yeah, so I would say, so recommendation, Mike, I would give it a good 3, just because like I've never expressed any thing about Cecil B. DeMille's movies. Like if it was Hitch, I'd give you a 5 because you and I know that we love Hitch. So I give it a 3, and probably the film right up the middle, also a good solid 3 for that. So yeah. Now, and I'll just have to ask. So you've seen it because you recommend. Where do you land that as a rating? I'm going to toss this back to you.
Well, I haven't seen it in a while because
good.
It was 2 hours and a half, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to rewatch this movie. I'm going to be ready for this one. I'm like, 2 hours and a half? Nah, I can't be about that life right now. So it is too long of a movie. I would have made it 2 hours, cut out some of the circus filler. But it is the best circus movie. I mean, it has some really cool circus stuff in there, like you were saying. And I love seeing the animals there, like the real life elephants. Like that was awesome. And then the train sequence. The train sequence is it's so thrilling. You don't expect it. That's what led me to the movie. Impressive. Yeah, because that scene was in I think it was in The Fabelmans, if I'm remembering. And I'm like, that's an awesome scene. What movie is that from? The Greatest Show on Earth. I have to check it out. So I really like the movie myself. I think it's a great quality. I mean, it won Best Picture, so it's quality there. So and then Jimmy Stewart's so good in everything. And then to see him as a clown, you really never ever see that. You always see his face, but you don't see the makeup on it. So I thought that was something unique for the movie. So I really enjoyed it. I don't know. I'd probably give it a 4 out of 5 because I would rewatch it again once I found like 2.5 hours.
You've already watched everything else in your pocket.
The train was definitely pretty spectacular. A lot of good model work when it came to that, especially for its time. It's like, oh, that's really nicely done. So, yeah, cool. All right. So
when Jimmy Stewart's story is revealed, I know we won't give anything away. I'm like, that was so surprising. I love that too.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice that there's a mystery involved in it too. That's what I'm saying. Is like the circus stuff when it's the performer, so like the actors doing it was great. Just a lot of put the camera down and film it. That was too much of that. Like a good 15 minutes could have done out. So all right, so let's move on to Derek's. Okay, so Derek has bestowed upon me another classic filmmaker, Kubrick, and we're going Dr. Strangelove on this one. You got it. Yeah. So some of these, both of yours, I had to stream because I didn't own it yet. Okay. So this, again, directed by Stanley Kubrick. This was a much quicker watch. This is barely over an hour and a half.
It's short,
95 minutes. Stars Peter Sellers, George C. Scott, Sterling Hayden. And it's funny, every time I see George C. Scott, the young George C. Scott, I keep thinking it's the guy that from 12 Angry Men. Like, no, because this comes after, and he's much younger now, so it's not the same guy. Anyway, so I am glad you told me to to rewatch this. Or to watch it, because I never fully watched it. The only thing I'd ever seen was the final scene with Slim Pickens on the bomb. You know, and I'm like, what is this movie? So to actually sit and watch it from the start to the end, it was really quite good. And I'm shocked to say that, because I'm not a big Kubrick fan. A lot of his stuff, you know, just doesn't resonate for me sometimes.
Sure, I can see
and
that.
And so in fact, a lot of his stuff tends to be like a one-time watch for me, or in some cases a multiple opportunity watch, like 2001. So we'll go there. But this was a really, like, I was engaged the whole time. Peter Sellers was quite good. It's like 3 characters. Peter Sellers,
he's amazing in that. Yeah.
I'm like, it makes you wonder, what was do you know the story behind that? Did you just tell him, hey, I'll do your movie, but actually, he was supposed to do 4 characters.
Oh,
but
really?
he was supposed to be Slim Pickens' character as well, but he just didn't have enough juice to keep going on that.
Okay.
And look, I don't think you could get better than Slim Pickens, because you got their super showman and Slim Pickens, you know, he's all like, yeah, all right, failures, we got to get down there and do our thing. You know, so I think Slim was the way to go.
Yeah, he's funny in that one. I love the movie. I haven't seen it in a long time. Honestly, I haven't even watched this 4K since I bought it.
I've never seen it.
I've always liked it a lot. And it's a very accessible Kubrick movie, like you were saying. It's just a straight up like political satire. It's not very Kubrick-y.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that was it. It was just like, it's kind of, well, I don't know when his filmography starts, but I know this was what did I say this was, 60 something, 64? Yeah, 64. So 64. And yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting story, because it's like there's a lockdown that this one, you know, guy that's in charge is like, he thinks that the politicians don't know what they're doing. They're idiots. And the war room is actually hilarious. Tim, I think you would actually love this film. I think this is right up your alley. You know, and this is coming from somebody who's not even a Kubrick fan. So
there's no fighting it here. It's the war room.
Yeah, so that's the one line I had heard of. It was great. And there's a lot of nuances. Like, I even had to kind of look up something online when it was over, which I won't say, just to kind of get like, is that what I thought happened? And it was, you know, it's yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's there's a lot of things you don't want to give away, because it is a tight, quick little script. So any little nod could give something away. But yeah, I was very impressed. So with this one, given that it's Kubrick, I'm not a fan. I give this a good solid 3. But I give the movie almost like a 3.5, almost 4 stars on this one.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, it's very funny. It's one I could see owning. Right?
Let's get that Columbia Classics Volume 1 in your set.
I don't. So if anybody comes across,
hey, it's going for the very low price on my channel of $2,000 if you're interested.
Oh god, yeah.
I am not.
I'm so happy I looked up got that thing for like retail price 2 years after it went on the print.
You know what's funny, Derek, is the guy. Remember the guy who had the Ghostbusters things I told you, and you.
Yep, that's who I bought it from. Yeah,
that same guy also had sold the Volume 1, which I think you picked up.
Yep.
But I didn't get both those because but he did it again recently, like in November, which I didn't know.
Oh yeah.
Again, $150, $60. But I didn't know about it. My friend saw it. I'm like, and I haven't seen it. You didn't buy it? Yeah. All right. So kudos on that one. So let's move on to Tim's. Tim. All right. So you're giving me the classics here. And this one is I'm happy for. So here, this is the one I actually had the hard copy for. It is Wait Until Dark. So there it is right there. Audrey Hepburn, Alan Arkin, Richard Crenna, which I didn't know Richard Crenna was in this. What a movie, is all I can say. Is I didn't even watch the trailer. I didn't learn anything about it other than I knew that she was blind. That's about it. So yeah, so it's this very interesting story where she's this blind woman in her apartment, and these really interesting criminals. Like Alan Arkin is so fascinating.
Yeah.
In film, he plays multiple roles. I mean, he plays the same role, but he puts on disguises and tries to change his voice because knowing that she's blind, he tries to go in there and assume a different persona, to get what he wants. They're trying to find this doll, and she's not giving it up, no matter what. And oh my gosh, like again, I don't want to give away too much stuff, but just the dynamic with Richard Crenna and her was fascinating. What his role was. There's the girl, the little girl,
the little brat. Yeah, the little brat.
Yeah, what a little brat, man. But she was good in the part. Yeah. She was kind of a bee, like being a total a-hole, like trying to act like she was there and clean it up, and then not. But then it kind of. They kind of come together, and she's sweet, and she really helps her when the time comes, and that was great. Like when she did her thing, as long as when she did her thing, she had to that was great. You know what I mean? It's like some of these things you want to savor some of these moments. And good gracious, was she amazing in this film? Like. Yes. So good. I think literally you've turned me on to my this new favorite actress, certainly from her time for me. Like this is sort of like Jimmy Stewart. We all love Jimmy Stewart now. Like she's one I want to see more of now because she was just really engaging. Like you when she is on, like you are fascinated at her choices. A lot of people play blind, kind of like they just stare in a certain spot, and she does that as well. But she doesn't do the. There's a certain thing, like I've known a few blind people and I've seen what they do, which is they memorize their place, their environment. Right. And that's what she's done. She's memorized her apartment. So when she's able to walk back and forth through her apartment without grabbing and touching everything,
she's convincing.
It's legit. Yeah. The only time, and then when she hits a chair that's not supposed to be there, well, there's a reason for that. It's because someone's moved that, right? Because her, necessity for keeping places in a certain place comes to play. So yeah, and just great performances all around. It just makes me laugh. It's like I didn't know it was going to be as funny as it was. Yeah, so what can I say? So so with this one, I'm just going to go look, because Tim knows he's dialed me in with Audrey. So it's a 5 on recommendation because you knew I loved the last one. And this film is a 5 as well. I'm going 5 and 5 with Tim Brody. Nice. For Wait Until Dark. I appreciate it. What's that?
I still need to see that and Greatest Show on Earth.
Yeah. So I would say I was very happy with this round. No bone tomahawks in this one. So right on.
I'm pumped. There's going to be another fan out there that can recommend that movie.
Yes. Oh yeah. And my wife watched it with me and she loved it as well. So good.
They had to actually warn. There was warnings outside of the theaters because of there's it's not really a spoiler because the posters say it, but there's a scene in the movie later on where they shut the lights off, and I mean shut it off. It's pitch black, and they actually had to put a warning on the poster so that people weren't frightened because it's several minutes of just black.
Yeah. And what's funny with that is I thought that was coming sooner because she's doing things like with the lights. I'm like, oh, she's gonna. But then it didn't happen. But then it did happen. It's like, okay. I was waiting for that moment because, of course, she would excel in the darkness. Yeah. And that scene really amped up. Boy, what she did, I ain't gonna tell you, but boy, her and Ellen went at it.
Such a great movie. Yes.
Yeah. I'm well done, sir. Well done to you all. Thank you for
glad you liked mine. I was worried, but I'm like, it's too funny for Huck not to like.
Well, no, and what's nice, Eric, is now this has teed me up to maybe see a few others, but I'll need some suggestions maybe on where to go.
You just need to see movies where he tricked the actors to be funny and use those takes instead of the dramatic ones.
Yeah,
like George. That's how he got George C. Scott to do that.
Oh yeah, he was funny.
Yeah, he'd have him act stupid and hilarious. And then he'd say he'd do the real take, and George C. Scott would George C. Scott it up. And then
that's funny.
Pretending he was rolling, and he was really rolling. That's how he tricked him into being funny. And he's amazing. All right, I'm going to pop through the comments again quick before we forget to. I have a feeling it's going to be a lot added to my watch list. Yes, we're going to have some bangers. I mean, they're all Oscar nominated.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert, none of them are Suicide Squad, so you're good. Master of all movies, press my DVD collector. Sarah is here. Nice to see you. Thank you. Thank you. Mel is here. What is up?
Mel. What up, killer?
What else new? Everyone saying hi to everybody. Hello, hello. Eli Cortez, what is up, sir? Being here.
I'm so excited though that you left it till dark.
I know, right? Were you worried? Were you potentially worried?
Slightly, because you never know how someone's gonna take something. So
right. I've been wanting to watch that for years now and just haven't gotten around to it. Oh, look, I have a question for you. The kids are getting older, and I don't want to take them off the show. What?
Is that a question?
Is it? Is it a question?
Don't take them off the show.
Don't take the kids off the show now.
Keep them on the show. And yes, KB, we'll keep banging the drum for this movie.
Yeah, I just saw that. Yep. I'm getting buzzed here. Audrey Hepburn was so good. Yeah, she is good. I need to watch more with her, and I think that will be my favorite thing I've seen her in once I finally get around to it.
It's so different, and she made that at a dark point in her own personal life too, because she was in a rocky spot in her relationship with her husband, and her husband was, I believe he was the producer, one of the producers on the movie. So they were working in tandem on the movie when they were not in a good spot in their marriage. So it's a great movie.
Yeah, and there's some good little bonus features on there too. So if anybody wants to pick that, this is part of the Warner Archive collection. So pick that up. I highly recommend that one.
As soon as I see that one on sale again, I'm going to grab it. My buddy Brian from Had Hole Home Video, he was one of our guest videos on Collectors Club, popped in to say hello. Thank you for being here, sir. I've been liking your little short. He's got some good little short form videos he's done lately about like Red Letter Media and stuff. So if you don't know him, go subscribe to him. He's a good guy.
I actually just subbed to his channel this week. It's funny.
He's good people. I've known him for like 25 years, if not longer. All right, I think that's everybody who has said hi to each other and has popped in since I have looked. And I'm going to start this comment so I don't forget where we are. And Mr. Timothy, where are we going?
Oh, you ready for me now?
Apparently.
Okay. All right. So we'll start at you, Derek, and run around. So Derek recommended to me the original The Producers by Mel Brooks. I've never seen this. I'm not super knowledgeable on Mel Brooks. There's movies of his I've watched and I've loved. I freaking love Spaceballs. Young Frankenstein is great. Blazing Saddles is hilarious. So like there is movies that I love from Mel Brooks. And then I watched Producers and
you loved it even more.
And then I watched Producers. It's gonna be good, Mike.
No, I didn't not like it. I might have went into this with the expectation of a spoof because that's what Mel Brooks is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And as this movie is going, I'm like, this is not a spoof. And I found a lot of the comedy to be amusing, but not like funny. Yeah. And as a full-on comedy, it's not trying to be anything else. It's just a full-on comedy. I was kind of just like, that's kind of amusing. I think the funniest part might have been like within the first 10 minutes when Gene Wilder's trying to get the other guy's attention. He's like, cough, 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 cough. And I was like, okay, all right. And then from there, it was just kind of like slight smirks and stuff. But I will say, I totally get why people love this movie. Like, I get it. It's just the comedy wasn't landing. And when a comedy doesn't land the comedy, for me, it's hard to fall in love with it. But I don't know, maybe I need to go into it in the future, not thinking of it as a spoof going in. Because like I said, I full on expected a spoof. That's all I know.
Yeah,
Mel Brooks for is spoofs, and I'm watching this.
That's what he's best at. I think he's best at spoofs.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. This is more just like a straight up satire.
Yeah.
And then but it's not so much of a parody. Yeah, because like this is the very first thing essentially that he did, and then he just somehow became like all parodies for the most part for the rest of his career.
there was some stuff that was like amusing enough that I almost chuckled, like seeing Springtime Hitler get performed, and then seeing just the utter like disgust of everybody in the crowd. Like there's moments. There just wasn't enough moments in there that, as a movie, I gave it a 2.5 because I could. That's middle of the road. It's middle of the road out of 5. So it's not bad. I think I need to rewatch it. But as a recommendation, that's a 4 out of a recommendation, because it's Mel Brooks.
Right.
I went into it expecting Spaceballs or something of that sort, and it just wasn't that. So
no, it is not Spaceballs at all.
Or Young Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein. Yeah, I felt so bad. I'm like, God, this movie is beloved, and I want to like it more. I'm not laughing.
But it's old.
I haven't seen that one yet myself.
So, well, now you know better. It's not a spoof.
No, I know better. Yeah.
FYI, it's not a spoof.
I'll be prepped. I'll give Mike a 4.
Yeah, I mean, Gene Wilder was nominated for this movie, and I get it. Gene Wilder was by far the better of the 2 co-stars. Like,
easily.
Yeah, he was easily way better. The other guy was kind of grating on my nerves a little bit, to be honest. Zero.
Yeah, Zero Marcel.
Yeah. He was kind of grating on my nerves a little bit. So, Gene Wilder was by far the better of the 2.
Yeah, I think he's supposed to be kind of irritating.
Yeah. Well, he succeeded.
He does a good job of it. But yeah, Gene Wilder, as always, is amazing. He's in everything he's ever in. But yeah, I can see that. It's not like it's my favorite movie ever, so you're not like you hurt my feelings or anything. But I just thought you might like it because you like Mel Brooks.
I mean, I'm happy.
You like old things.
I'm happy I saw it. I'm happy I saw it. And I like lots of old comedy. I guess just this old comedy just didn't land. So
fair enough.
It's no Dr. Strangelove.
Yeah, it really isn't.
All right. So next up, Mike, you've got me dialed in with boring, and I love boring.
Yeah, extremely boring. If you need to sleep, Tim will love it.
Yes. So
are we selling this here?
Well, it's slow. Ordinary People is 1980 Best Picture winner, directed by Robert Redford, with a stellar cast. This movie moves at basically a snail's pace, but
not that.
No, it's pretty slow moving, but the story it's telling is very important, and the way it handles the depiction of depression is very, very, very well done. Mm-hmm. Timothy Hutton plays a kid who his brother passed away shortly before he tries killing himself, and you're finding out just how he's feeling throughout the movie, and his performance is just absolutely incredible. And the movie doesn't spoon feed you stuff. Like, I hate when a movie just throws exposition at you, and this movie subtly just like in spurts will tell you what happened to the brother and things like that. Like, it's not just a whole bunch of exposition in the front to get going. Like, it's just subtly telling you as you go. The performances by everybody, though. Donald Sutherland, amazing. Mary Tyler Moore plays the mother, who is she has a running for one of the worst movie mothers ever. And by worst, I don't mean bad acting. Yeah. She was great actress in it. Her character was the devil. Maybe not that bad, but she was an incompassionate bitch. I hated her character so fucking much. It handled the subject matter fantastic. It was captivating. It's very slow, though. Incredibly slow. Recommendation wise, it's a 4. You know, I like slow. You got me nailed down.
And depressing things.
Yes, it's not bad. It's not happy. It's slow. There's no smiles in this movie. There's talk of suicide, depression. It's dark, but all wonderfully acted. And I put it on Letterboxd as a 4 for the movie as well. The only thing knocking it is the pacing. Honestly, it's very slow. If it picked up the pace in that first half, I feel like it'd be a 5. But it's just it really moves at a snail's pace at points. But it's a wonderful movie that handled dark subject matter, and I appreciate that. So
yeah, it is really good, yeah, and sort of ahead of its time in that way.
Yeah,
so you would agree that Timothy Hutton deserved Best Supporting Actor for that movie?
Was Timothy Hutton not nominated for it? Or?
No, he won Supporting Actor.
He won. He won. That was supporting? He's the lead.
He's Supporting Actor.
He's the lead. Holy shit, I didn't even know that. So
and Judd Hirsch too, but
So that's category fraud by far. Timothy Hutton is by far the lead. The movie is about him. 100% full stop, it's about him. So him being supporting is absolutely bonkers to me. But
hey, at least he won, right?
Yeah, he's fantastic. He's
That's how you get a kid to win an Oscar. You put him in Supporting Actor.
That's what it was, yeah.
And everybody but Donald Sutherland got nominated for it, and he never got nominated for it.
Donald Sutherland was so good. He was such a good father, so compassionate. Mary Tyler Moore, I didn't think I could hate Mary Tyler Moore.
Yeah, that movie will do it to you. She won for that too, I think, right?
The difference between her TV role and the movie role, then, that sweet Mary Tyler Moore, and then this.
Yeah. She shows zero compassion at all in the movie. She's cold, distant, awful to her kid. I mean, I really hated her so much. She was walking down the steps towards the end, and I'm nudging my wife. I'm like, I hope she fucking falls. Like
wow.
She's horrible.
Yeah. So, Mike, you really know I like boring.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got a stack of boring over there. It's like, I got Tim handled for a year.
I know. So I don't really like this movie. Tim might like it. I got a whole pile.
No, you didn't like it.
No, gosh, no. This movie was awful. I remember nothing about this movie.
God, that's hilarious.
When I'm hearing you're giving it a 4 out of 5, I'm like, I'm giving it a 2 out of 5. And 2 to me is like a bad movie. It was just boring. I'm like, what is this movie about? Like, I get it. There was depression, but it was making me depressed. A movie should...
No, I think that's a good thing. Like, I don't want all movies shouldn't be uplifting. Like, it's dealing with dark subject matter. It should put you in a bad...
It was dark subject matter. It put me to sleep. It was lights out. Yeah. It's been a while, though. I might have to give it a rewatch one of these days.
I love your rationale to give
it
an
exciting film, that's for sure, but it is a very well acted and made film.
I just love that you go, I hated this. I'm going to totally recommend this to Tim.
Hey, that's how, like, when I think it's going to be a good recommendation, I will recommend it even if it's not the movie for me. Because it's a movie for someone else. There you go.
There's a small trash bin next to his desk that just says Tim on a piece of paper, and he just throws movies in there when he doesn't like them. One out at random every month.
It's so funny, though. He has me nailed down on he thinks boring, and I'm like, this is a really good movie.
This is amazing.
It was just pacing away from being a 5-star. Everything else about it was the camera work was, I think it was nominated for cinematography actually too. I think
probably won everything else.
Yeah. So, but cinematography was great. The acting was outstanding. Like, it nailed everything besides it was not paced fantastically.
Yeah.
that's about it.
Probably
all right. So
we're gonna pop in. Dell popped in, so I'm gonna say hi to
Dell.
Howdy, Dell. Next one up, and last one. I was recommended The Fabulous Baker Boys by Huck. So this one I watched today, and it was a trip trying to watch this movie.
Sorry about that.
It turns out, for anyone, if you want to watch it, I'm sure it has physical media, right?
Oh yeah, okay. It's got a yeah.
Okay.
It's on Blu-ray.
I didn't have the physical media, and it turns out it's not even a digital rental on anything. So you have to sign up for Stars. So I currently have Stars at the moment. I have to actually cancel that. But I watched it on there. It is a story of struggling brothers who are musicians that are struggling. And it's Jeff Bridges and Beau Bridges. Yes, there you go. There you go. And they're struggling enough where places are not wanting them anymore, and they need to change things up. So they bring in Michelle Pfeiffer to be their singer, and they're going to give her a cut. It was a really good movie. I like musical movies, so Huck nailed it on this. The performances were good, except for Beau Bridges. This isn't bad acting wise, but Beau Bridges got on my freaking nerves. And Jeff Bridges, who, like, if you were telling me the cast, I'm watching for, like, Jeff Bridges is one of the main reasons I'm watching. And Jeff Bridges does most of his acting through, like, emotion and his face and stuff. He goes entire scenes saying almost nothing. Like, his lines must be like a fourth of what Beau Bridges is. So I was like, damn, I want more Jeff Bridges in this movie.
Yeah.
But
he does captivate the screen.
He does. But I was just like, Beau Bridges was pissing me off. Like, he was an annoying brother. And he really is the brother, too, which is funny.
Yeah.
Michelle Pfeiffer, though. Whoo, man, she's fucking hot in that. Oh, my God. She was gorgeous. She was great. I enjoyed it. It went exactly where I thought it was going to go, from the start. So it wasn't trying to break any type of new ground or tell any type of new story. Like, the first 5 minutes of watching this, you're like, I could see the trajectory of where this is going. But it's well acted. Beau Bridges annoyed me. I love music-based movies. So if you guys want to give me more music-based movies, this is a 5. Because even if I don't like them as much, I like seeing more music-based movies. Some I love, some I don't love. This, I gave it as a movie. It's a 3 where I will definitely rewatch this and it might go up now that I know that Beau Bridges annoys me and Jeff Bridges doesn't talk.
Watch better,
yeah. So I can picture this going up. And my first initial thought is it's a 3, but has the possibility to be like a 3.5 or 4. Like Michelle Pfeiffer, though, she was nominated and she was freaking awesome.
Yeah, I felt like she should have won that year. That was really one of those moments where she should have.
Yeah, I loved her. I just
it was her like her peak, pretty much.
How did you love the audition scene? Was that great? Everyone's like singing, like trying to like get the part, and some were just so bad.
Jennifer Tilly, I had no idea that she was in the movie.
Tilly was hilarious.
Oh, yeah. Nice. He's always funny.
Because all the people auditioning before Michelle Pfeiffer comes in are awful, and Jennifer Tilly with her like squeaky voice is also awful. And it's funny. This movie has funny moments, but it's also it's a drama first and foremost. It's a musical movie. You watch this and you automatically tell them how it's going, but it was well acted. Just
it's how they get there that's interesting. Like I loved her voice. I thought she sang beautifully. I didn't know she could sing that nicely.
Yeah, that was actually, I had to look that up. That was actually her. That wasn't her. Yeah.
Well, I mean, come on, she's from Greece too. Cool riders.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I'm glad you liked it. I had a feeling it might be about a 3. I was just praying it would at least be a 3. I was like, I rewatched all of these that I gave to you guys and I enjoyed it again. I was like, okay, I still like this film. I hope it clicks for you. So
yeah, if the relationship between the brothers, if I was like more on both of their sides, but I was really, really annoyed by Beau Bridges so much that I like when it's more like, oh, well, both of you are screw ups. But Beau Bridges was really like he was stuck in the mud, holding things down and really holding all of them down. So
you gotta blame it on the straight hair. It's paint, man. No.
Overall, good recommendations all around. Like even producers at the lowest score for me, it's still. I don't know that I'd return to that one, but I get what I'm happy I watched it.
Right. Fine. Trying to pick an old boring movie that has music in it, and you hate it.
It wasn't boring enough.
There are boring movies with music in it you like. I get it.
You needed to give me more boring. Take a cue from Mike.
It's not boring enough. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It wasn't musical enough, and it wasn't boring enough. Okay, I'll write that down.
You got to find the sweet spot, Derek.
You got to find the sweet spot. It's got to be really boring and a lot of music.
All right.
But you hate Bohemian Rhapsody, which that doesn't pan out at all.
Oh God, Bohemian Rhapsody. Oh, so as I said, I love music-based movies, and it doesn't always pan out.
Yeah.
Bohemian Rhapsody did not pan out. I fucking hate that movie.
Yeah, I did.
But Rocket Man, did you see that?
Rocket Man was wonderful.
It was
I
great.
liked Rocket Man a lot.
And I thought his performance was better, and he wasn't even nominated.
Yeah,
Oh, he was way better. He
I
was
feel bad
way
for
better.
him.
I'm gonna say it's not. Even though we're not talking Bohemian Rhapsody, the only reason people give a shit about that movie, it seems like, is because of Live Aid, and they recreated Live Aid. Just watch Live Aid, then. You don't need to see it recreated in a movie.
Right.
It's
10 minutes were great.
It's so long, and it's recreating the concert. Just watch the damn concert.
Oh yeah, the concert's great. Now, my only thing is how different that movie would have been had Sacha Baron Cohen stayed on the project. I would love to have seen Sasha as Freddie. That'd have been a different Freddie.
It would have been more interesting. That's for
I
sure.
couldn't have hated it worse.
All right.
Okay, then.
Cool. All right.
Johnny brought up a good point here that I was thinking when Tim was talking about ordinary people. Let's settle this. Did ordinary people deserve to win Best Picture over Raging Bull?
Definitely not.
Raging Bull does everything. It's paced better. I'll say that. It's paced better, and it nails everything else, too. So I'd still say Raging Bull over Ordinary. I'd say Raging Bull over Ordinary People, but Ordinary People is very deserving. It's just slow. It's stale paced, slow.
And back in the time, that won a lot. Out of Africa, I rewatched last year, Derek, for your thing. Oh my God, that was like so boring. Tim, you would love it.
I didn't watch that one.
So slow.
Sort of on purpose. Yeah.
Throw it in Mike's shit pile. Give it to Tim.
Yeah.
I was
recommend it to Tim next. Watch it so you can recommend it to Tim.
But if something is slow, though, it has to say something, though. It can't be slow for the sake of slow. It has to have a purpose. Ordinary People actually had a good, meaningful story to it. So don't just give me slow for the sake of slow. It has to say something.
Right.
Yeah. I'm less annoyed by the Best Picture win than I would say Martin Scorsese should have won for Best Director. That's the thing that would bug me more between those two. And Dell agrees. He hasn't seen Ordinary People, but Raging Bull is a masterpiece. What Dell said, yes. Cody's here, or at least he was. This is an old comment. What's up, everyone? Don't forget to roundhouse yank that like button. Thank you, Cody. Scroll through quick, see anyone? Bo Bridges never stopped playing the dad in The Wizard. I always refer to Bo Bridges as the TV Bridges, and there's a reason.
TV Bridges. Yeah, that's great.
Bohemian Rhapsody is terrible. Rocket Man is awesome. It's at least a hell of a lot better.
Yeah.
Elvis is better than Bohemian Rhapsody, and I don't think Elvis
I like
is
Elvis. I like Elvis.
I hated Elvis.
I hated
it.
I liked it more than Bohemian Rhapsody because it was at least sort of interesting to look at.
Oh God! Both of them can go in a rocket ship, get shots in the moon.
With Elton John flying it. All right then. Hey, we're on to me now. So I'm just going to go in order of the order I watched them in because it's easier. First, I watched Working Girl, which was Huck's recommendation. It's very out of print on Blu-ray, so I just bought it on Amazon. It was like $4 to rent or $5 to buy it. So I was like, okay, I'll just buy it. So I did that.
Nice.
I watched it, obviously. And it's about a young woman who was trying to get in like the stock business, kind of is what she's doing. This is like I said, I watched this first, so this was ages ago. ages ago. And Harrison Ford is in it. Sigourney Weaver is in it. And she's amazing. And who else is in it? Joan Cusack. Very good.
She's fantastic in this film.
Yeah, she's very funny in it with her hair. But yeah, essentially, why can't I can never think of the name of the lead girl now. Brain farting.
Melanie Griffith.
Melanie Griffith, yeah. It's like she's like a famous actress, and I've seen her in like 2 movies. She's in it. She is the working girl. And she's sort of like basically an assistant in the stock market game, and she goes to work as an assistant or secretary for Sigourney Weaver, and she has really good ideas that Sigourney Weaver is absolutely going to do and take advantage of to her benefit. But of course she doesn't, because she's a huge bitch and she's fantastic. So while she is injured in a skiing accident, Melanie Griffith basically more or less doesn't pretend to be her, but she like assumes her job and makes sure what her ideas were get done with the help of Harrison Ford, who just happens to be someone's boyfriend / future fiance. Guess who that is? But yeah, I won't give too much away. That's the gist of the movie. I enjoyed it enough. I'm not.
I knew it.
I'm like, I know I'm gonna like. It's okay. This
Smell
is
the
like
2.5.
I watched this with my wife, and she's like, "Who recommended this to you?" I'm like, "Huck," because Harrison Ford's in it. She's like, "Oh yeah,
Oh yeah. Like,
oh yeah, obviously." And I was like looking at what year it came out, and I'm like 1988, and I'm like, wow, there must have been some slim pickings for Oscars in 1988. Not that it's bad, just that come on, this is not a Best Picture movie. This is it's a very funny, cute, romantic comedy that actually has pretty decent characters. Melanie Griffith character at the end kind of won me over. Like literally her last scene, like bumped this movie up half a star because I loved that scene so much. What she does at the end,
yeah.
but yeah, I thought it was fine. Like it's one of those movies. I'm like, yeah, this is all right. This is as good as I thought it would be. To be honest, like I wasn't expecting it to be amazing.
It's a movie.
I knew I wouldn't love it, and I thought it would be
better
pretty
than
good.
a movie.
It's no Roger Rabbit. Let's put it that way. But yeah, I'd say as a recommendation, any Oscar nominated movie to me is like basically an automatic 4 as a recommendation. So let's get that out of the way. As a movie, I was gonna say it's maybe a 3, but like I said, that last scene, I enjoyed it so much that I would say it's a 3.5.
Oh, I mean, I'll take
So
that.
it's pretty good. I don't know how often I'd rewatch it, but I'm glad I did. It's one of those.
And really, I gave it to you for the nominations of the actresses, because
that's the best part of the movie. Yeah,
Joan Cusack were both nominated.
Yeah.
So, and I knew those were probably.
And it won for the song. That sounds like it's
I
something.
know, but one, it did win. See, it's an Oscar-winning movie.
Yeah, that song is so weird. It sounds like it's out of like Lion King 2. Like, why is the song in the movie?
It is. It is
not Lion King. Lion King 2.
Right.
Gauge that.
Right.
Specifically.
The Aristocrats.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, if you haven't seen Working Girl, it's worth a watch. That's as good as I would say it is. worth a watch, and some good people in it, and it's funny.
But you know, and I would say too, though, to jump on it a little bit, is it's a genre that Harrison isn't always picked for, which is comedy, and he's quite competent and capable in this film. He's very charming. He's got his comedic timing is really on point, and his chemistry with Melanie Griffith I thought was quite good. And and they just kind of won me over. And Joan Cusack, I think, is absolutely a scene stealer when she's on.
Yeah. So. Well, you can't not look at her with that hair. So
it's the 80s hair, man. When you watch that, boy, that's the 80s.
Yeah, she's fun. I'm kind of surprised she got nominated for it because she doesn't really do anything in the movie other than be kind of funny and.
It was just hot at the time. It was a huge, like at the moment, kind of flick.
Yeah.
And I figured you hadn't seen it. So with you being the Oscar guy, I had slim pickings.
It's hard. It's hard with him.
Anything pre-90s, you're pretty safe, honestly. Like I've seen like basically everything from the 90s upward.
Exactly.
Anything before that, you got a chance. Especially the older you get, the better your chances. Put it that way.
All right.
Yeah. And then what did I watch next? Oh yeah, the wife and I watched Guns of Navarone. I bought that one because it was on sale for $17.99, and then you made it. You got a homemade slipcover, huh?
No, this is the slipcover.
Really? I didn't think I had one.
Yes, it did.
Oh,
it did have a slipcover.
Look at you with your slipcover.
Whatever. Yeah. That's a cool.
You didn't get no slipcover of yours?
I didn't think I had one.
No, he's gonna grade
whatever. I paid. Yeah, it was like $17, and I was like, oh, I'll buy that. And then I was like, okay, I'll find it. I need to watch it.
Might as well get the steelbook at that point.
Right, and then it went back up to full price. It was like $30. Like shit, I should have bought that. And then like 2 days later, I checked again, and it was half off again, so it went down to like $15. And It was great. So I'm like, oh, perfect timing. And then I used credit card points, and I only had to pay like $3 for it. It was good. Good timing. Anyways, the wife and I watched that one, and we were both immediately disinterested in the movie. Don't worry, this isn't going to be as bad as it sounds.
It
was just one of those. It was just one of those things where I needed to watch it, but I wasn't in the mood to watch it. Movies, it's like that was the problem. And it's 2.5 hours long, and a 2.5 hour long movie from 1961 is a 3.5 hour long movie from 2020, whatever year it is.
They are.
Just to give, that's the ratio of how long movies seem. Ballpark. It's an hour longer now. That it's like movie length inflation from the 60s to now.
Mike gave us both long movies.
It's an hour longer now than it was when it came out. But yeah, so I watched it. It was like 9 o'clock when I started watching it, and I get up for work at like 5:30, so it's a big gap there. So I was a sleepy boy, and I was dozing off. I watched like the first 20 minutes of it or so, and I'm like, okay. And I dozed off, and I woke up, and then they were in a ship going to wherever the hell they were going. I didn't hear because I wasn't paying attention. Then I fell asleep, and then I woke up like an hour and a half later, and then they were still in the boat in the water going to wherever they were going. And then I woke up again, and then they were still in the boat going to where they were going. And then I dozed off again, and I woke up, and then Gregory Peck was climbing a mountain. I was like, oh, cool. And then I fell asleep again. And then 45 minutes later, I woke up, and the next guy was climbing the mountain, so on and so forth. This was actually only like half an hour of movie. It just felt that long because I could probably sleep through it. So I was like, okay, let's just turn this off. And I'm like, I'll try again tomorrow. And my wife was like, okay, you can watch it by yourself. So I did that. So after work, I got home, got off a little early, so I had time to watch the whole thing before my kid got off school. It was great. I had some espressos, so I wouldn't doze off through it. And this is a pretty good movie when you pay attention to it. I'll just put it that. There was a lot of details I missed, like every single thing the characters were doing and who they were. Those are good to know. Why they were going where they were going. That was important. So Gregory Peck is in charge of this ragtag group of soldiers going to Greece, I believe, which is where it was shot for the most part, which is awesome, and it looks beautiful when they're there, at least when it's not models. The models are still good for its time, but you can tell they're models. So they go through and they have to sneak up to destroy these guns of Navarone, these huge weapons that are built to destroy like destroyer ships. So the most of the movie is them traveling there, and there's the cool scene that I kept sleeping through, and they were in the storm and the ocean was good. There's some good character development parts. Apparently, that's the part I slept through, and then I woke up when it was loud and it was just water crashing. So you learn some interesting things about a couple of the characters I won't give out.
When you stay awake.
Yeah, when you stay awake, it's pretty good.
Stay awake, you learn so much about this movie.
Yeah, it's amazing how much better movies are when you watch them.
Right? That's what I hear.
Weird, isn't it? But yeah, so they had to travel and they had to go up the back way, essentially, up this rock face. And Gregory Peck is like the world's best rock climber. Didn't catch that the first time around. Much more interesting now that I know that. So yeah, essentially he has to climb this mountain or rock face more so than a mountain and get the other soldiers up it, and then he can kind of skedaddle, but their boat is destroyed in that storm, so he's like in it for the long haul. And yeah, he tries to get his soldiers to the end and finish the mission and blah 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 blah. That's how war movies work. But there's some good deception and some double crossing and some torture in it. 1960s torture, not bone tomahawk torture.
Okay, I'm in.
Sadly, I would have preferred the latter. I want to see Gregory Pecketing.
Oh God!
But yeah, as like I said, as a recommendation, any Best Picture nominated movie, I'll give it a 4, just because I should like it, and I did. But like I said, this movie is an hour longer due to inflation. So because of that, if they would have cut like a half hour out of this movie, I probably would have really, really liked it, but I still probably would land on like a solid 3.5 out of 5. Like, it's very good and everyone should watch it movie. If you like slower paced things, you'll probably be fine with it. I like slower paced things. And I was like, all right, once it gets going, it's pretty good. So once you get to that point, I enjoyed it. But yeah, I liked it in the long run. Like I said, it's a lot better when you watch it than when you don't watch it.
I'm not real confident.
I'm glad I gave it a second chance. Put it that way. Lesson learned.
Yeah, I'm not real confident you sold that, Derek. I don't know.
And then, or if you're just tired and you want to fall asleep, you can put that on too, and then watch it.
Oh, now.
It's a good sleep putter aware at night, and a good war movie in the afternoon.
Cool.
Depends on the time you watch it. What did Tim give me? He gave me Children's Hour. I keep forgetting the name of it. Starring Shirley MacLaine and Audrey Hepburn, of course. And also, who else? James Garner was in it. Young, hot, sexy James Garner back in 1961 as well. Oddly enough, same as that movie. And this is about the two women work at a school. It seems like it's all for little girls because I don't remember seeing a boy there. Was it for girls? Tim, you probably seen it?
It was an all-girl school. Yeah,
I didn't see a boy, so I'm assuming it's an all-girl school run by these two women. And rumor has it that they might be lesbians.
The way you said that.
The Mary Tyler Moore of this movie, as Tim would put it, is this little girl at the school is the biggest piece of shit. God, she's horrible. And she just looks weird too, so you don't even like her for that. But she's basically just lying and deceiving everybody who works at the school, making up these rumors about these women being lesbians, which in 1961 isn't, it's frowned upon more so.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. So it's very topical for its time. I enjoyed that. And James Garner was the soon-to-be hopeful fiance / father of Audrey Hepburn's children, is what they keep talking about. And I don't want to give everything away relationship-wise in the movie, but it kind of went exactly where I expected based on the characters. Not in a bad way, just like, oh yeah, I was right about who this person was. And like any other great Tim movie, it's black and white. It has Audrey Hepburn. Kind of slow, and it's depressing.
Wow.
So it hits all the notches.
Nice. Look at that.
But
home run.
I would say this was my favorite of the three that I watched because I really liked the characters in it. Specifically Shirley MacLaine. I enjoyed her a lot. I thought she was the most natural performance. Because when you watch older movies, they have that like old-fashioned acting style.
Oh yeah.
And this movie kind of came out right in that midpoint. I'd say like in the 70s or late 60s, it becomes more modern, where like half the people are acting in a play and half the people are acting in a movie. She was acting in a movie, and she was easily my favorite part of it. But yeah, it was a solid movie about, it was ahead of its time. And Shirley MacLaine apparently likes to be in movies about suicide in the early 60s.
Yeah.
I'm learning lately. So yeah, it's a really good movie. I watched it on Tubi of all things, because I think that's another one where the Blu-ray's stupid expensive.
Oh, is it?
Is it? I don't know. I thought I looked it up and it was like it didn't have a price on Amazon, but it is a very good movie, and I recommend you all watch it, especially if you like slow, boring, depressing movies with Audrey Hepburn.
Wow.
But it is a solid flick.
When it comes to LGBT movies, like that thing is very ahead of its time though, and pretty important.
It's kind of like Rope. Rope's a very subtle film that people don't
gets
know
the job
about.
done.
Yeah.
Let's pop into these comments here for a second. Rami Malek is the best part. Yeah, sadly he was. No, the music is the best part of Bohemian Rhapsody.
I was thinking for me that doesn't say very much because I didn't like Malek in it.
Yeah.
Right. That's why it sucks. We need a re-release. Yeah.
I agree, Tony.
If Working Girl came out on like a solid Kino 4K or something.
I was just saying, it feels like a Kino title. Like that's who would give it some love. Or perhaps Shout Factory, and then they'll undercut the release number.
Yeah,
and then we'll all jump.
It'll be a site exclusive with 300 copies, and then everyone will buy one, and then it'll magically have 1,300 copies. Yeah. That sounds about right. The Sleeping Habits of Derek. Yeah, I was tired, but it made the movie better.
Although the movie you described when you were sleeping sounds a lot more interesting than the one you saw when you were awake.
How? How is that possible? I didn't see any of the actual parts of the movie when I was asleep. I just kept waking up and seeing water in a ship.
But you sold it. You sold the way you woke up and it was there. Wow, they're in the way. And then
as long as it worked, I guess. I don't know. Either way. Bearded Film Guy is here. Thank you for popping in, sir.
Hey.
All right. I think that's the only new person here. I'm trying to see if there's any non-saying hello to each other comments in here. Doesn't seem to be. All right, Mike.
This is coming to the crux of the show here.
I'm going to refill my Fargo beer glass.
Let's all take a shot.
Fargo.
All right, so I've ranked all these movies. We're going to go from least favorite to most favorite, as I traditionally do on this show.
Oh, boy.
I will say, first of all, though, all solid recommendations, all well-made films, so there will be no massive rant tonight, unfortunately.
I'll take that.
I love a good rant. I love a good rant once in a while,
Mike.
but I will say
you're not kicked out.
But yeah, okay. So Fargo, don't you know, got third place tonight.
I knew. I brought my
that was the best accent I got for this.
I nearly barfed.
Yeah, Fargo. Okay. Well, first, when this movie first started, it pissed me off. Because, and this is the most fuzzy out of any movie. I saw this like a month ago, so you guys are going to have to fill in the story gaps. But first it said, oh, this is like an actual event. All these things actually happen, right? I wasn't imagining that.
Yeah, it says that, but no, that's not
true. That exactly. That's why I'm like, this movie loses all credibility right off the bat. Why would you put that in a movie? I'm just like, oh, that's even worse than just saying based on a true story. So that irritated me. Okay, but then we get past that. Then it gets, I guess better.
I guess better.
It's a North Dakota kind of story. It's snowing a lot. It's cold.
Mm-hmm.
I will say Coen Brothers, right? I think this is like my third or fourth Coen Brothers movie, and I haven't been blown away by their movies yet. Let me go with the positives. I think it's well written. The dialogue's very good, witty, snappy, very clever. There's some funny moments. I remember laughing out loud quite a few times here. The acting's really good. I mean, come on. You got Buscemi in there. He's great. You have Frances McDormand, one of the best actresses of all time, of course, for all those Oscars. So you know it's going to be a well-acted movie. So those are the positives there. The story plot, though, this is a ridiculous story. If this is a real story, I'm like, what the heck is this? Okay. So the person wants money, right? I think he wants money, the son or whatever.
Jerry
and
Lundegaard.
So his idea is to hold someone for ransom, right? It was his wife, right? Holding his wife for ransom.
He wants someone to kidnap his wife for ransom.
First of all, I'm like, what? Why would you do that? Terrible, horrible person. Okay. Well, anyway, so he gets his wife kidnapped and holding for ransom by these two thugs. Okay. And he's trying to get the ransom money from his father-in-law. Just ask the guy if you could have some money. Like, can you borrow some money? Like, call him up, have a call. It's your father-in-law. Like, do we have to go through all these shenanigans to... The story
specifically says in the movie that he won't give him the money. And that's why he didn't ask him.
But still,
I can see Derek's heart shattering.
But no, I mean, he didn't hate it. He's okay.
You don't take it that far right there. You just don't do that. It's like, okay, this story. But that's how the Coen Brothers movies have been to me. Like, well-made movies. The camera works great. They always great acting talent. The dialogue's always on point. But the stories are always lacking for me. It's like a wannabe Quentin Tarantino, where it's like, okay, the writing's really good, but you don't got the story. Where Quentin Tarantino, he got the stories, right? Those are really good stories. So the story was disappointing, but I'm happy I saw it because that's one of my goals for the year. Watch more Coen Brothers movies. So I had to watch this at some point. I wish it was a little bit cheaper to pick up. I mean,
if you didn't like
one
it,
of the most expensive full boutique label price right there for this one. And I don't even think there's not much special features on this either. So that was pretty disappointing.
Well, there's nothing new on it, yeah.
So with that being said there, yeah, it's a 3, solid 3. The recommendations were 4 though, because I had to watch it. It was part of my movie goals. I wanted to watch it, so very happy I saw this movie. I was gonna watch it eventually anyway. But yeah, 3, meaning, and 3 is a good score for me. I don't do halves. I don't know what are these 0.5s out there. 3 means it's a solid, well-made movie. But do I feel the urge to rewatch it again? Probably not. So, but well-made movie. It has its moments. Like I said, I laughed out loud a few times. So for a dark comedy, I mean, that's kind of one of the major purposes. So if you can get me laughing a little bit, you already won basically with that. Just wish it was a better story. That's it. If we could have had a different story there. But other than that, yeah, solid.
I love the story, obviously. It's so believable, though. It's believable because they tell you it's true.
Oh my god!
People are that stupid.
Yes, I know there would be some people that stupid, but like, what? How?
I spent more time watching Derek than watching you. Because
what do you mean? I said it was a good movie. A 3 is a good score for me, people. 3 is good. Okay, if you don't, as long as you're a 3 and above, that is good. Okay, why don't people like my 3s? I don't understand.
Well, I mean, at least we've at least got 3s, is what I'm guessing. So that's something.
Yeah, 3s are. I mean, and you have to know how I score movies. Like, a 5 is extremely difficult to happen. Like, that's rarely ever going to happen. I think only I gave Frighteners a 5, right?
Yeah.
That was the only one time. Like, and to get a 1, another extreme, it's very, very difficult. So usually you're going to be around a 3.
Regular things to get a 1.
The thing is too bad to be a 1.
Yeah, 1 is like offensively bad to me. So 2's bad. 2's like bad, but you know. All right, so that's Fargo. There we go. We're done. And the accent. Oh my gosh, the accents the whole time.
Hey.
That gave us some charm, though. That gave us some.
I know
charm.
a lot of people who talk like that for real. Don't you know? I live there.
Johnny says, "Do you want to throw your movie into the wood chipper, Mike?"
No, I gave it a 3, people. 3 is solid. 3 is good, okay? Like I said, it has some charming moments. You're gonna laugh once in a while. It's just a story. And
famous wood chipper scene as it's seen on my glass.
Oh my god, you've got a glass with that. That's funny.
All right. So next movie here. What is gonna get number 2? Well, number 2, this might turn into a rant, not based on the movie, but because Arrow did not give me my physical copy. I ordered a month ago, kept every week, delayed on Witness 4K, and then eventually they're like, oh, it's just canceled. What the heck?
Did they cancel yours?
Yeah, they canceled it. They kept delaying it like every week, and then they eventually just canceled it.
Fuck. Yeah, they keep delaying mine too because I ordered it the day the sale started, and I'm like, yay! And then I got my Warriors in 2 days. I'm like, oh, this ain't gonna end well.
Yeah, and I got it like during the holidays. Like I was paying like a pretty hefty price. I mean, they give me a little holiday discount in there, but I'm like, they don't even want my like almost full price money here. This is ridiculous. So shame on Arrow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, so that was the rant for the evening. I had to get a rant in there. There we go. We're good now. We're off. Okay, but Witness, yay. So, but I found it streaming on Paramount Plus. Thank goodness for Paramount Plus. That was awesome.
Yeah.
So Witness. Well, at first, I'm like, Huck, what the heck did you give me to watch? I'm like, there's all this grass, and then there's Amish people. I'm like, what the heck is this? What is this? That was the longest 10 minutes of my life. I'm like, well, if
you know, Mike hates grass and snow.
I'm like, if this is a movie, I'm out. But thank goodness, though, we finally got to the Witness scene. Okay, that's where the movie should have started. Like, cut all that other filler out. We don't need that. We don't need the grass in there. Get to the Witness scene in the restroom. That's where the movie
Oscar-nominated grass, Mike.
Yeah.
So when the movie starts with the Witness scene, it's really good. I'm like hooked in. The kid is like trying to hide in all the restroom stalls and being all clever with how he's like moving around. So that was really cool. That was interesting. And that got me into the movie. I'm like, okay, we got something here. The kid just witnessed a horrific act. Okay, so now we're getting into a thriller movie. I like thrillers. We're going the right way with this. And then when Harrison Ford shows up, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Harrison Ford, he is great. He is totally this movie. One of his best performances ever in a movie to me. So good on point.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But yeah, I liked the story, and it got better as it went on because there was twists and turns, like little surprises here and there that would just kind of change the story around. And then they basically are going after Harrison Ford. I didn't think that would happen. So he's like hiding out in Amish paradise, like being one of the Amish people, you know, gets his little Amish outfit and everything, you know. So, but it's charming. And then there's a romance in there. I wasn't expecting that. I'm a sucker for romances. So that was really charming too. So I liked all the heart and feels with that. That was really good. And then, yeah, the ending, that was cool. Then became like a home invasion movie. Well, I guess like a farm invasion movie. That was awesome. I would have said if they could have made that a little bit longer, like take the grass scene out at the beginning, take that 10 minutes out, add more 10 minutes to the home invasion scene, get a bigger body count. We needed a few more people like
no, it's not Die Hard, though. It's not
that's okay. We go Rambo at the end with it. That would have just spiced it up another level. But no, it was solid. It was solid. I mean, it was good. It got good. So we'll give that a 4. We'll give it a 4. Quite good. And I would rewatch it occasionally. So that's where you get a 4 from me. So that's a very, very good number.
So it's a 4 and 4.
For recommendation, I don't know. Well, I don't know what I would give it on the recommend. Why'd you choose it for me, Huck? I guess I'll ask that.
Why did I choose it for you? Okay, first of all, it's my favorite dramatic Harrison Ford performance. He's one of my favorite actors. I know you like Harrison Ford. And knowing that you hadn't seen, I mean, it was really just like, it was a luck shot that you hadn't seen it. But I knew that
you need to see it.
Yeah, but I knew that if you didn't, it's absolutely one of the highest recommendations I can give anybody. Because for you, I also rewatched it. Because I did, Steelbook Obsessed thing with that on there. I'm like, this is just more reasons to watch it. And for me, I like the grass, Mike. It's Oscar nominated grass. It's cinematography, man. That's what it's about. And yeah,
I need my movies fast. I need the pace going. Like,
I know. But that's what I like is all the ebb and flow. It had twists. It had fish out of water twice. So yeah, the Amish in the station, fish out of water, and then he went to the Amish country, fish out of water, and then his assimilation to try to just sort of blend in didn't go well when he heard bad news, we'll just call it that, and he just snapped. That was very realistic because of the person he was reflecting about. I mean, just so I'm glad you liked it, because for me, knowing you didn't see it, I couldn't recommend it.
Well, there we go. So that was a 4 on recommendation. And yeah, the fish out of water stuff was great. And I thought, oh, is this going to get a little boring here, seeing him milking the cow and all that stuff, the farm life? But it was really interesting. I like fish out of water stories. So they played it perfectly. It didn't get drawn out too much. So that was great. Very good.
And it had more humor in it than I remember. Like it just had every little moment for a little bitty humor. I was like, oh my God, that was funny. You know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, there we go. So we know first place, I guess. Number 1, Tim gets the award today for Mystic River. Good job, Tim. This was awesome. Now, at first, I'm like, what the heck is this? Okay, because, well, just with the name. With the name, I'm like, Mystic River. Tim, what are you doing? Am I going to watch a Western right now? It sounded like a Western, like a Mystic River. It must be a Western. I don't know what's happening. But I'm like, Tim is not usually a Western person, so why would he recommend me this? But then I saw it. Not a Western, so you guys are good. It's not a Western out there. But yeah, oh my gosh. Tim Talks Tears lives up to the name of this movie. Gut punch of a movie. Almost had me in tears. Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. This movie does not shy away. Oh, goodness. The beginning scene. I'm like, okay, what is this about? What's happening here? You have these kids, and then these people pick up a kid pretending to be cops. He gets in the car, and then, yes, I won't go into graphic details, but yes, very, very just gut-punching, tragic. I'm like, oh, my God. Oh. So, okay, you're already into the movie at this point because it's just so gut-wrenching. And then we get back to, I guess, modern day, into the future. Now you see, I guess, the lives of these friends and where they're at now. One of them's on the police force. They're married and stuff. But let's go through all the characters. That's where I think I'll start, because there's a lot to pick apart here. But Tim Robbins, I didn't know that was Tim Robbins at first. I'm like, that face looks very familiar. Where did I know that guy from? I'm like, oh, Shawshank Redemption. That's the guy.
He's incredible in that movie, too.
He's so good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, just a gut punch. Everything he's going through, just all the trauma, like you feel it and how he's talking and describing it, being like a vampire. Like anybody that's, gone through those kinds of experience trauma, like you just connect with that type of stuff there. And it's like it's like hard to watch. It's like, oh gosh. So really, really good performance there from Tim Robbins. But I guess the story here is you have now another tragic thing happen. What is the female's name that dies at the beginning? It's not a spoiler. It happens real quick, so it's not a spoiler.
It's the
I
whole
can't think of her name.
Yeah, but she's awesome. Was she?
Is the actress from
or
what's it called?
I like
Shameless,
seeing her
right?
though.
She's in Shameless, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, she's gonna be a big part of this movie. I like her as an actress, and then I'm like, oh no, she's not gonna be a big part of this movie.
Yeah,
so there you go. Yeah, she was good for the small part she had. But yeah, so the tragedy happens. That's the main thing of the movie. Now we're trying to discover what happened to this daughter. And the dad is Sean Penn. Oh my goodness. Sean, you talk about great performances here. Tim Robbins had a great one. Sean Penn, this is probably my favorite performance from Sean Penn. Oh my gosh. Just the acting here. Like you have to see it to believe it. It's so good. But anyway, his daughter dies. He's now on the hunt to find out what's happening here. But you got the police that are trying to do their job. Kevin Bacon, you get some bacon in here, and Lawrence Fishburne. Yes. So those are the cops that are doing the investigation. They're piecing things together. They start seeing suspicious stuff. Like Tim Robbins' character has some suspicious things going on. And so it's just a really good, I guess, what do you call it, detective thriller, some psychological stuff in there with what's going on with the Tim Robbins character. But it's always keeping you engaged throughout the movie. You're always guessing what happened. You're always second guessing when they start giving clues to things. And I will say about halfway through the movie, I kind of was piecing together what would be the end result. But doesn't matter. It still was heart-wrenching throughout and kept me interested the whole time. So very, very good movie. I'm going to give this recommendation here. And I can't say too much about the movie because I can't spoil nothing. Like, you got to see this movie, absolutely, everybody. But I'll give it a 4. 4, quite good. I would rewatch it again. But just bring the tissues, people. I wasn't prepared for it to be as gut-wrenching as it was. But, just handling all the trauma stuff there. And then decisions certain people make, and then things get worse. It's like, oh my God. And then by the end, you're like, what the heck just happened?
Did you mention for the people that haven't seen, with the friends in the beginning that become the adults, the one that's a cop is friends with Sean Penn's, or they were friends, and he's basically like a mobster. So you got the opposite ends of the law.
Yeah, you got the cop. You got the person that did time, the mafia kind of person with the Savage Brothers, or his little crony group, and then you have Tim Robbins, which is just, I don't know, I guess more introvert kind of character that went through the trauma, kind of sketchy vibes. So yeah, they're playing all these different things, and they used to be friends, but away for a certain amount of time, and now they're reunited through this tragedy. It's like, oh my gosh. Very well written movie, very well written, well acted, camera work great here, editing perfection. So yeah.
So you sold that, Mike. Now I want to see
it's so
that.
Good. Everybody, you haven't seen it,
I love Mr.
Gruber. Huck would love it. Oh gosh,
I love Mr. Gruber.
If it helps even more, Huck, it's a Clint Eastwood directed movie.
Yeah,
that's why I thought
it was going to be a Western. I'm like, oh, Clint Eastwood,
Mr. Gruber, Western. Yeah, I love Mr. Gruber. Yeah, I love that since I saw it in theaters. That's probably my favorite Clint Eastwood movie. Still,
it might be my new favorite directed Clint Eastwood movie.
Ooh,
it was that good. Yeah. So all good recommendations, people. This was, you guys knocked out of the park. So you guys were right when you built up the hype. I wasn't let down.
We're just lucky we hadn't seen such bangers, man.
Before my time, I had to go back and see these things, but I'm so happy I did. So
you saw like one of the best movies from each decade they came out.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was actually jealous of, like, when you got all of them. I'm like, holy shit, you just got fantastic movies.
Yeah, that's like, those are like 4 out of 5s on a bad day. To me.
No, I would say this was a good round. I think for all of us, at least for I know for me, Mike seems like for you. I think you guys too. But yeah, like all three were just, the circus movie, total different era. Cecil B. DeMille, different vibe. Strangelove, totally different vibe. And then for me, they were all so dramatically different, but all good for what they were. And that was nice. It was nice to have like three great movies to enjoy. And I was worried most about Kubrick because, of my 2001 track record, but
yeah. I would say that when I think I recommended him, like it's the least Kubrick movie I've seen. So I think and it's funny. So I think you'd enjoy it if you actually watched it for the comedy.
This will probably not happen again, but I actually think I gave all three of you then your favorite of the choices.
Oh yeah, nice.
So yeah,
that will probably not happen again. But
you won today.
I'll take it.
Yeah,
that won't.
That's good. Yeah. Well done, Tim. Tim gets like an award or something.
Giving out stars for when that happens, just to keep track of it to make it more interesting.
I won an episode.
You won an episode.
Tim won today. I didn't. That's for sure. I'm just glad you all didn't despise him. That's my goal.
I kind of like that Tim talks tears, by the way.
That's how I remember for movie recommendations for you, Tim.
I love it. If a movie can hit me like emotionally, that's why I gave a future choice for Derek for next time around, because we have to talk about the stuff behind the scenes to recommend. We've seen too much. So Derek's
everybody.
Derek's next choice is another one that really emotionally gut punched me. So I can't wait to. If something emotionally impacts me, I'm thrilled. Give me the tears.
Nice.
It's almost like that's what movies are for. It's crazy. Art, I told you. All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna quick go through these comments here. Sounds like my. I mean, if you're gonna throw it in the wood chipper, I'll take it. But you seem not to hate it enough.
I did not say it was that. It was good. It was solid. A 3. A 3 is good, people.
That's okay. I'll take a 3 on Fargo. Anything lower than that, like I said, I wasn't kidding. You'd be out of the club if you hated Fargo. If you hated any of your 3, you'd be out of the club. Y'all agreed.
Oh.
My cave in Amish smack dab in the middle of Amish County. Be careful to.
Oh no! Amish were ruthless in that one by the end. I mean, they all came together, so they were there. They were there in support.
Yeah, shows their strengths. Peter Weir worked hard to get that grass to look like that.
That's Oscar-nominated grass.
Yeah, you agree. Mike, you got all bangers. Yep, he knows. Caveman knows. He knows.
And then Weir and Ford, and I think the cinematographer all went to Mosquito Coast right after that as their next film.
Yeah, I think that was right.
Not as well received.
Nobody saw that movie.
I get.
I think Witness won cinematography actually.
No, I think it was only the song.
No, it's editing and Witness won original screenplay and editing. I think either editing or cinematography. It was something good.
Now I'm gonna look that up.
And then Fargo won. Fargo won original screenplay because of its amazing story, and best actress. I can't remember. I'm mixing them up now. But I'm like, was it cinematography or editing?
It won screenplay and editing were the two it won.
And it was nominated for cinematography.
It was nominated for God, what is this? 8?
Yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah, it's a lot. Oh, sorry, I was thinking Working Girl.
Yeah, Working Girl got nominated. Yeah, one song.
That was the best song. Yeah,
picture director and the 3 actresses, but not Harrison Ford, of course.
I know.
Just like the one Tim had, it was nominated for everybody except Donald Sutherland.
Which I don't understand.
Well, Ford was nominated. He just didn't win.
Yeah, which is funny because you think Timothy Hutton would have been lead actor because he was, but with him in supporting, you think Donald Sutherland could have easily gotten nominated for lead actor, and he still didn't, which is just the weirdest thing to me. But whatever. We'll talk more about Oscars at some other time. But yeah, before we forget to mention it again, Sunday, right here on the Convicted Cinephile channel, is the Collectors Club Go to the Oscars Collectors Club show. I don't know if you guys have a lot of Oscar-related collectibles to show off.
Some.
I don't.
I'll work with what I have. You're going to see a lot of suicide.
Yeah, you're going to see all 2 of them probably. But that's the least important thing. We're going to talk about movies we want you to see that have been nominated for Best Picture from days of yore and present days. We're going to talk about actors and filmmakers who have never been nominated for an Oscar, despite really should have been. You know what I mean? We'll get into that, and all the normal Collectors Club stuff we do. So, you guys have anything else you want to add to this one?
No, I mean, this was fun. I love a great episode. I love award season movies. So
yeah, it's an easy pick for me. I was like, I'll watch anything, and worst case scenario, I'll think it's okay.
and for everybody watching, our new recommendations are coming on that show. In 2 days, we'll have new recommendations for each other. So.
Yeah, we're gonna do. I think because it's for February, right? So we're doing romance movies, I believe, right?
Yeah. If you guys saw our private chat, we probably send 100+ messages back and forth. Did you see this? Did you see this?
Yeah. And then once in a while, and we all haven't seen the same one probably, so then we're all fighting over it.
Right. Wait, I didn't see that. I have a copy.
It all worked out. But yeah. So we'll see you on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Convicted Cinephile channel. Thank you for coming. And we'll see you next time.
Good night, everybody.